Krishna Chaitanya,
Jai
Jai
Shri
Shri
Krishna
Krishna
Chaitanya,
Chaitanya,
Prabhu Nityananda,
Prabhu
Prabhu
Nityananda,
Nityananda,
Shri Advaita Gadadara,
Shri
Sri
Advaita
Advaita
Gadadhara,
Gadadhara,
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda,
Srivasadi
Srivasadi
Gaura
Gaura Bhakta
Bhaktivinoda,
Vrinda,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
So we are doing 5.22, right, today?
Yeah, today 22.
So we have completed 5.21. In the 5.21, last week, a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance. So, liberated person. And we have seen the person who is a liberated person in the previous shlokas. 4 qualities we described it, right? Remember the 4 qualities? What are the 4? Anybody remember those 4 qualities? A person who can be tadbuddhaya, tadatmanas, tannistaya, tatparayana. Right? So, tadbuddhaya, intelligence absorbed in God. Then tadatmaha, mind fixed on Krishna. Tannishtaha, that is study in his faith. And tatparayanaha, dedicated to his service. These 4 qualities, such a person, right, here explaining that he is a liberated person, is not attracted to material sense pleasure, always in the trance. That means that that person cannot take any happiness. He does not derive any happiness from the material activities. And he's always in the trance. Trance means that it's not necessarily sitting and going trance. He's always situated in the conscious Krishna consciousness. Everything happens in the life, morning to evening. He is attributes everything that he's getting either positive, negative for Krishna. This is Krishna's blessings. This is Krishna's response for me. And so there is, in that case, that there is no lamentation in that case, right? Because when we purely depend on Krishna, everything happens in our life happening by mercy of Krishna. So we take everything as a positive. Even sometimes we may not get what we want, but Krishna knows what we want. He gives what we needed. But we may not like it, what Krishna, right? So, but we accept it. That is called humility. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, Dainya, accepting the will of the Lord, not your will. Right? Krishna's will takes precedence over your will. You may not like it because we have limited vision. Right? So, in that case, that a person in trance, he always accepts whatever Krishna gives. Okay? And enjoying pleasure within pleasure. The the soul, which is connected to the super soul, they communicate so well, he gets pleasure, immense pleasure inside. He doesn't have to go for the picnic. He doesn't have to go for somewhere, uh, where these islands, Caribbean islands. You don't have to go anywhere to seek the pleasure. Pleasure is within. Of course, we go here and there to change, but it's not that. That's not the primary source of pleasure. The primary source of pleasure is serving the soul, hearing his Krishna Katha, engaging in this service, talking to his devotees. Tushanti cha, ramanti cha. What is that? 10th chapter explains the devotees derive pleasure by talking about Krishna conscious activities. Machita matgata pranayan, machita matgata prana, bodhayanta paraspara. Bodhayanta. He teach everyone about Krishna. Tushanti cha ramanti cha. You get the pleasure talking about Krishna, talking about his activities, talking about his pastimes. So people derive that pleasure. So it's completely self-satisfied, Atmaram, like Krishna. He doesn't have to travel all over the world to get happiness. We go for the vacations because we get bored what we do every day, right? So for the boredom, you want to escape, you go to vacation. Then when you come back, you deal with the same boredom again. Then after 6 months, you need one more vacation, right? So this process of entangling the material world, looking for some respite, entangled, some respite. This is not going to last forever. But a person who is in trance, complete knowledge of the Supreme, enjoys within. In this way, self-realized soul enjoys unlimited happiness. He concentrates on the Supreme. The amount of happiness when you connect to Krishna is unlimited. Because the material happiness, what happens is when we go, any activity material has a time limit. You cannot perform any material act, even some activity which is giving pleasure, we cannot continue for a long time. You get bored that also. Am I correct? For example, assume that you like uh, boating, right? If you do for 30, 40 minutes, you get bored. अबे ये बस हो गया, चलो उसको खत्म कर दे. Let us some activity. Why? Because that activity is material, right? And you want to go for vacation, Hawaii. एक हफ्ते के बाद you want to come back home again. No, this is enough for me. So anything material happiness has a limitation. We cannot enjoy forever. But on contrary, coming to Krishna consciousness, on what is that? Somebody is trying something. So, on contrary, Krishna conscious activity that you perform, you feel like doing more, and more. There is no question of what that called satiation. You do, the more you get, more pleasure. You get more. It's infinite happiness connected with Supreme. That's the difference between material happiness and spiritual happiness. So that person, he's explaining, liberated person. Within Isuga, this way self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness. But he concentrates on the Supreme. Okay? This is how a person who is in Krishna conscious completely gets unlimited happiness by engaging in his senses for the Supreme Lord. Okay? We'll go to the next shloka. That is 5.22, correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. ये हि संस्पर्शचा भोगा
Yehi
Ye
samsparsha
samsparsya bhoga
दुःखायो नया एव ते.
dukhayo naya yogate.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji.
अद्यन्तवन्त कौन्तेय
Adhyayamantavanta
Kaunteya
न तेषु रमते बुधा.
nateshu ramate buddha.
Anybody want to recite shloka?
Yehi samsparsha bhoga
ये
Yehi
संस्पर्शजा
samsparsya
भोगा
bhoga
kaya yonaya evate
दुःखायो
dukhayo
एव
yevate.
adi antavanta kaunteya
अद्यन्तवन्त कौन्तेय
nate shuramate buddha.
न तेषु
Nateshu
रमते
ramate
बुधा.
buddha.
Anyone else?
ये संस्पर्शचा भोगा
ये हि
Yehi
संस्पर्शजा
samsparsya
भोगा
bhoga
दुःखयोनाय एव ते
dukhayo
दुःखयोनय एव ते.
nayevate.
आदि अन्तवन्त कौन्तेय
Adhyayantavanta
कौन्तेय
kaunteya
न तेषु रमते बुद्धा
न तेषु
nateshu
रमते
ramate
बुधा.
buddha.
Okay? Translation by Prabhupada ki jai.
Ki jai.
Which I-
An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery.
An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery,
Which are due to contact with the material senses.
which are due to contact of the material senses.
O son of Kunti,
O son of Kunti,
such pleasures have a beginning and an end.
such pleasures have a beginning and an
and
end.
an end.
And so the wise man does not delight in them.
So the
And
wise
so
man
the
does not
wise man
delight
does
in
not
that.
delight in them.
Here, Prabhupada was wise man. Who is a wise man? Wise man is not somebody PhD in mathematics or anything. A devotee of the Lord is called wise man. A wise man does not take part in this happiness and distress. They just come out due to the contact of the material sense, as we were explaining before, that the material happiness or material misery, right? Those are temporary, right? So that's what Prabhupada is explaining here in this purport. So, Bimal Prabhu, you want to pick someone else to read this?
And Nirmal Das Prabhu, go ahead, Prabhu.
Translation by Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Material sense pleasures are due to the contact of the material senses, which are all temporary because of the body itself is temporary. A liberated soul is not interested in anything which is temporary. Knowing well the joys of transcendental pleasures, how can a liberated soul agree to enjoy false pleasure? In the Padma Purana, it is said, Ramante yogino nante satyanande chidatmani iti rama padesanu param brahmadhit jayate. Hare Krishna.
Here the translation. Hare Krishna.
Yes, let's go down here. Sorry. That's the translation. The mystic derive unlimited transcendental pleasures from the absolute truth, and therefore the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, is also known as Rama.
Rama. You know, in our Mahamantra we have Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna. Hare
and
Krishna.
Hare Rama. Rama means, any meaning of Rama?
Rama. One of the names of Krishna, right, Prabhu? Rama is also.
Rama is one who gives the, Rama means like
Pleasure.
pleasure persons, pleasure, Rama. Right? Here, Ramanthe, right? Here, Prabhupada explaining material sense pleasure are due to the contact of material senses. As I just explained before this class also, right? We go for certain place to enjoy material. And then you get enjoyment with that one, right? And these are all temporary. Can this enjoyment will stay forever with you? No, you go there, 1 or 2 days vacation, or someplace you go there, enjoy, come back, you forget that. And Prabhupada explaining this body itself is not permanent. Then what is the question of getting permanent happiness with the material senses? Right? There's nothing like permanent. Everything is called ephemeral, short-lived. Whatever happiness, the material creation we try to enjoy is a short-lived. After some time it is gone, and after some time this body is also, we are also gone. So nothing is permanent. For example, we see the Alexander Great. He fought so many wars. Is he there still now? Is that whatever he acquired is with him now? No. Right? That's all gone. It is a history. It is history. Right? Everything becomes a history. British ruled India for 200 years. Are they still doing that? No. It's gone. Gone is gone. So anything material activity that is performed is a temporary. Why? Because the activity is material. And our body is also material. Our body is gone. Again, a liberated soul is not interested in anything in temporary. Such a beautiful statement by Prabhupada. A liberated soul. What is the meaning of liberated soul?
Realized soul.
Realized soul. Realized soul is person who is 100% situated in Krishna conscious activities. 100%, pure devotees of the Lord, they are not interested in the temporary which is, knowing well the joy of transcendental pleasure. And on contrary, material happiness compared to the other side of the spectrum, is spiritual happiness, right? Spiritual happiness comes when we connect our inner conscious with the supreme consciousness. Okay, and we know that we are not this body, we are the soul. Soul is no birth, no death, no old age, no disease, but the soul. Soul is eternal. And that soul eternal, anything connected to the soul is also eternal. Any activity connected to the soul is also eternal. For example, the devotional service to Krishna, right? That is a eternal activity. Why? Because Krishna is eternal, you are eternal. When you connect to these eternal potency of Krishna, whatever you perform, that is not a temporary activity. Okay, this is the distinction between material, which is temporary, spiritual, which is permanent. Okay, so in that case, whatever actions we perform on the spiritual platform, they are forever. And also, the activities we perform on spiritual platform, they would be staying with you forever. For example, we are all devotees here. We are claiming to be devotees, whatever, and we attend Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Gita classes here and there. Okay, we do little devotional service, for example, and whatever constraints you have, you may not able to finish Krishna consciousness in this lifetime. I'm just giving an example, right? I mean, maybe 100 is the score we should go back to Godhead, and you got only 10 points in this lifetime. Presume that. That's a spiritual activity. Till actually you're doing every day, they are just null and void, end of the day. The spiritual activity, whatever you 10%, that will be stored in your eternal bank account. And when you take whatever species next lifetime, if you again contribute any spiritual activity, that bank account would be increasing, but that 10% never depletes. Look at the beauty. That 10% never depletes. That's the advantage of devotional service to Supreme Lord, Vishnu Tattvas. That's why it's called permanent. And you take material act on contrary, you go to Hawaii for 1 week vacation, come back. Do you still have, again, is that stored in your bank account? Nowhere. Actually, your bank is depleted with your credit card money. You have to pay the credit card bills when you come back. And you're paying money which is not permanent. Okay, you're buying things which cause misery by me. So that's the beauty of devotional service to Krishna. They never get depleted from your account. That's why Prabhupada is saying that a liberated soul is not interested in anything which is temporary, knowing well this joy of transcendental pleasure. How can a liberated soul agree to enjoy false pleasure? When you're liberated, nobody wants to enjoy false pleasure, which is material. Of course, see, again, don't take this statement white and black. We are not pure devotees yet. If you have to take your family for vacation, take it and enjoy, because that stage would come later in the life. Otherwise, what happens is the family problems come. So you never take us anywhere. You always say Krishna, Krishna, and you don't care for us. If the family is not fully Krishna consciousness, these differences would come. But this general statement, if you are 100% Krishna conscious, whole family, including three kids and wife, this really belongs to. So you also evaluate your own situation, if your partner is Krishna conscious or not. So based upon time, place, circumstances, you have to take these things to action. We cannot just take blindly and go and insist on the family, then family falls apart. I'm very, very careful on these sections, very careful. Prabhupada talking in perspective of devotee. If other partner is not a devotee, we have to act accordingly. Got the point here? Okay, but in case of devotees who are fully Krishna conscious, both of them, and who are kids also Krishna consciousness, when you teach them, hey, this is not, we're supposed to do this. In that case also, we call that what is that called? Controlled sense enjoyment. because we are not pure devotee. We do, as I said several times, karma misram bhakti, jnana misram bhakti. We do mostly karma misram bhakti. In that case, these small hiccups are still there because we are not fully purified still. That stage may come later, but you have to hang on until you get to that stage. But this is the case where a pure devotee of the Lord, how liberated soul. We are not liberated souls yet. We are still conditioned. We are conditioned with so many actions. We are conditioned with so many activities. Okay, so we don't want to claim to be liberated. But Prabhupada talking in terms of liberated soul or fully 100% in Krishna consciousness is not interested with these temporary activities. And the second chapter also Krishna says, right? Everything is like a winter and summer summer sessions. What is that shloka? Agama Payano Nitya Sthams is what is that shloka? Forgot first few lines. Sitoshna Samadukka. So it is like a winter and summer seasons comes and goes. This happiness and distress. But intelligent person never bewildered by those activities. When you're Krishna consciousness, we know how to deal with these problems. Okay. And we need to apply that intelligence. Okay. Prabhupada writes beautifully that Krishna consciousness is, okay, he beautifully says that Krishna consciousness is based on logical foundation and philosophical basis. Logical foundation and philosophical basis. These two are very important. Logical foundation. What is the logical foundation Krishna is talking about here is we are the soul. We are not the part and parcels of the Krishna. That logical foundation has to be, if that logical foundation is given proper. Am I audible?
Yeah, very clear, Prabhu.
So when the
Yes,
logical foundation that being the servant of the Lord is given, then philosophy easily comes to us. We don't have to try hard philosophy. The logical foundation is not there. Philosophy doesn't work for us. Prabhupada writes beautifully. So Krishna consciousness is based on logical foundation and philosophical basis. And that person is completely liberated souls. But we're still struggling to understand these things. That's why if you want to advance spiritually, I say three things have to be performed. What is that? Intelligence has to be purified. How? Through the Shastric evidence, the Shastra. Intelligence has to be purified. Always constant questioning ourselves, who I am, where I was before, what is my next destination. I am passing, especially now I'm getting old. Every day I'm thinking that, what is my next destination? How should I be involved in Krishna? How should I secure my position as being a devotee? Because as you get old means what? We are coming too close to death, right? It's a fact, whether you believe it or not. We should accept that, first of all, I'm getting old. A lot of people, of course, I put color and all these things, but still I'm getting old. That's a fact. The fact has to be accepted. Yes, I am getting. What I am securing to go back successfully. Am I Krishna conscious? Am I really doing what I'm supposed to do? Am I really following what Prabhupada said? So I'm getting more and more conscious about those things. That has to be done with everyone. We should be very conscious what we are doing. And days are, because you see, 2025, 2026, how years are fasting very fast. You might have seen, right? January comes, you see, it's already July we are in. Next 26 comes, again January, again July 26. So time is ticking. Time and tide waits for none. We know that. Ticking. Am I really securing my position not to come back? Or at least, even if I come back, I should be in Krishna consciousness. So that is the why we have to, intelligence has to period every day. We read Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam for 40 minutes, right? What are we learning? We're trying to connect our consciousness with Supreme so that we are in check. In check. Yes, I am. So every morning we have checkpoint for us. Are we reading Shastra? Yes. We are in check? Yes. So that gives confirmation for us that we are in the right path. Because of this material knowledge, which doesn't teach us, then we may go astray, we may go wrong. Because material education doesn't give what is right, wrong. What is favorable for you is right. That may be wrong for somebody else. This is a relative knowledge, right? But when you read Shastra, Shastra gives Praman, standard. What is right, what is wrong. With the Shastric Praman, we should apply in our life. It's not that what you think right may be wrong for me. What I think right may be wrong for you. That's the relative knowledge. But absolute knowledge comes from the Shastra that has to be taken into consideration. Apply in our life every morning, check formula for us. Am I doing something which I'm supposed to not do? Am I in the right direction? Am I doing what Bhagavad Gita explained basically Divine Grace Prabhupada and Acharyas? Are we in the right track what we are doing? So that has to be constantly evaluated by each one of us and connect to Krishna. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So here, Prabhupada explaining beautifully that in the Padma Purana, it says that the mystics derive unlimited transcendental pleasure from absolute truth. That means devotees. Therefore, Supreme Lord is also known as Rama. So the moment you connect to Krishna, naturally happiness comes. Why? Because Krishna is Allah. Anandavabhya, he's happy. And happiness comes to you as well. There's not a great thing here to think. Krishna, Hare Rama. The reservoir of pleasure, Krishna. He gives Krishna. Did you see anywhere in the Krishna working very hard, digging the holes and carrying stones? Always flute playing Krishna. Always dancing, acting. That's how life is. When you connect to Krishna, you'll become like that. Always Anandamaya. We are all looking for happiness. We are all seeking for happiness, but we are looking in the wrong place. We go for vacation, okay, एक हफ्ता vacation हो गया, happiness is done, come back, again you go somewhere else. These happinesses are all temporary, which is not connected with the Supreme. But if you develop this inner happiness, connecting with the Supreme, connection with the divine nature, that happiness which exists would stay with you forever. That's how it is, okay? Then in the next sloka, 551, I like this sloka very much. Can someone read Bimal Prabhuji? I think he's talking on the phone. Can you just go down or I can share my screen?
Sure, go on, going down.
Yeah. Okay, so let me read this sloka, somebody else read the translation. Nayam deho deha bhajam na loke.
Nayam deho deha bhajanna loke.
Kastan kaman harhate vidbhujayante.
Astan kaman arhante vidvijayante.
Tapo divyam putrakayena sattvam.
Tapo divyam putrakayena sattvam.
Shudyad yasmad brahma saukyam tva anantam.
Sukyad vismat brahman saukantyam te anantam.
Can I ask someone to read, Prabhuji?
Yeah, Navid Prabhu, go ahead, Prabhu.
Prabhupada ki jai. My dear sons, there is no reason to labor very hard for sense pleasure while in this human form of life. Such pleasures are available to the stool eaters. Rather, you should undergo penances in this life by which your existence will be purified. And as a result, you will be able to enjoy unlimited transcendental bliss.
Who is giving this instruction? Vrishabhadeva teaching to his 100 sons in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 5th canto, 5th chapter, 1st sloka. Vrishabhadeva has 100 sons. He is giving an instruction to his sons saying that, my dear sons, there is no reason to labor very hard for sense pleasure in this human form of life. Some people work like a donkeys, 18 hours, 20 hours. Ignoring chanting, ignoring spirituality, right? So we don't have to work that hard. One time I remember even Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj explaining that if you are not able to chant 16 rounds with your job, change your job. It means how much importance has been given to the devotional service to Krishna in your life. Don't neglect these things, Prabhupada says here, right? He's saying, my dear sons, You don't have to work like a donkeys and just for the material sense enjoyment in this human form. Such pleasure are available to the stool eaters. What are the stool eaters? Ox and pigs. Ox and pigs. So if we are doing the same thing, we are equivalent to ox and pigs. Rather, you would undergo penances. Instead of doing that, do the penances, life by which your existence will be purified. What's the penance here? Penance is nothing but you have to stop eating, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra on the beats every day, reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, residing in the Dham, and reading and connecting the devotees, serving the deities, serving the temple. These have to be developed rather than working like a donkeys. He's saying that this pleasure is for the ox and dogs, 2 liters. Rather, should undergo penance. Penance means not that to close your eyes and say there, no, eat, nothing. Penance means in the devotional service by which your existence, what happens, existence will be purified. How it is purified? It will be elevated consciousness. You're trying to come closer to the lotus feet of Krishna. Day by day, we are all reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam every morning. And every morning we read Bhagavatam, we are taking one step towards Krishna. His instructions, his rules and regulations, what he's saying. And Prabhupada giving his devotional ecstasies, how he is feeling about it. So this way, we are trying to slowly connect our consciousness with the Supreme Consciousness and elevate our human existence. See, we are the human form of life. That is the highest life, the Vaishnavas. And from there, our promotion depends on going to other human form within devotee's house, or going to different planet to help Prabhupada to the preaching mission, or going back to Godhead. If that is not done, promotion, then we are doing a demotion. That is going back to lower species of the life. So that's what we wanted. That is what Prabhupada, when he said that here, your existence will be purified. When existence purified means your consciousness is purified. When consciousness gets purified, what happens? You will be connecting with the Supreme and you will be elevated to the higher consciousness and going back to Godhead. And that is done joyfully. Susukam kartam avyayam. It's not that you have to give up my job, you have to give up my family, you have to give up my kids. No, everyone we can do, including. It's inclusive of family life with the Grihasthas. Some are not favorable, that's okay. Pray for them. And somehow you have to get along with them and involve. And if nobody is devotees, you try to become a good devotee. Show with an example that, oh, devotee would be like this. And some people may not recognize, that's okay. You do your job, Krishna takes rest. That's how it has to be performed. And the result will be to enjoy unlimited transcendental bliss. When is that comes? That comes only when 100% connected to Krishna, transcendental bliss. So this is the instruction giving Vrishabhadeva to his 100 sons. Okay. Therefore, those who are true yogis or learned transcendentalists are not attracted by any sense pleasures, which are the causes of continuous material existence. Continuous material existence. The more one is addicted to material pleasure, the more he is entrapped by material miseries. See, there's a problem with the material. You, for example, you want to do more, you feel like doing more, you'll fall down finally. The material activities. You fall down and you go nowhere. The more one is addicted to material pleasure, the more he is entrapped by material miseries. Because you're doing more sin, one sin, other sin. Completely you are in the abysmal part of the sinful actions. And you have to come back again, take long time. Okay. So what I would do, I will share this 551. Can you share this 551, Prabhuji?
Yeah, sure, Prabhu.
More on what Vrishabhadeva was telling to his sons?
551, yeah.
For Bhagavatam.
Yeah.
or I can.
No, I'm doing it, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
doing it because I
5,
want this
5.
to be recorded also, right? 5,
Yeah,
5.
551. First job. Okay, we'll read just these few lines, okay?
Oh, you want to read this, Prabhu?
So can someone ask them to read few lines?
Vishaka Mata, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Chapter 5, Lord Rishabhadeva's teaching to his sons. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Right.
In this chapter, there is a description of Bhagavata Dharma, religious principles in devotional service that transcend religious principles for liberation and the mitigation of material misery. It is stated in this chapter that a human being should not work hard like dogs and hogs for sense gratification. The human life is especially meant for revival of our relationship with the Supreme Lord. And to this end, all kinds of austerities and penances should be accepted. By austere activities, one's heart can be cleansed of material contamination, and as a result, one can be situated on spiritual platform.
So this is very self-explanatory. So Prabhupada beautiful writing that the Bhagavad Dharma. There are two dharma, Bhagavad Dharma and Kaitava Dharma. Bhagavad Dharma means Prema Dharma, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave. Jivare Sarupai Krishna Rankeda. That is Bhagavad Dharma. Okay, and he's telling to his 100 sons, right, the liberation and mitigation of the material misery. It is stated in this chapter: human beings should not work like dogs and hogs for sense gratification. The human life is specially meant for the revival of our relationship. We have a relationship with Krishna, but revive that relationship with Krishna through the devotional practice. And that is penances, kinds of austerities, penances. Now, penances, austerities, don't get scared. Chanting Hare Krishna's beads, eating nice prasadam, hearing Krishna Katha, associating with devotees, these are penances we have to perform so that heart can be cleansed with the material content. It's a material disease we have. It's called disease actually. We all have the material disease. I want this, I want that, this, that independent of Krishna. This material disease will be completely eradicated once we connect to devotional service to. So look at that. And as a result, one can be situated on the spiritual platform. Okay, someone else can read rest of it.
Vijay Prabhu, you are available to read?
He must be driving.
Prabhuji.
You can read, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Please go ahead.
Translation by Sri Prabhupada ki jai.
Right.
To attain this perfection, one has to take shelter of a devotee and serve him. Then the door of liberation will be open. Those who are materially attached to a woman and sense gratification gradually become entangled in material consciousness and suffer the miseries of birth, old age, disease, and death. Those who are engaged in general welfare of all and who are not attached to children and family are called Mahatmas. Those who are engaged in sense gratification, who act piously, impiously, cannot understand the purpose of the soul. Therefore, they should approach a highly elevated devotee and accept him as the spiritual master. By this, his association, one will be able to understand the purpose of life.
So, spiritual master, Robert talking about how we need to take the shelter of a devotee and take his diksha from him and then elevate our consciousness. Then we understand the purpose of life. Okay? Yeah, next few lines, probably someone.
Yeah, Prabhu, I'll read. Nobody's there now.
Yeah.
Purport by Divine Grace, Sri Bhakti Vedanta Shiva Prabhupada ki jai. Under the instructions of such a spiritual master, one can attain devotional service to the Lord, detachment from material things, and tolerance of material misery and distress. One can then see all living entities equally, and one becomes very eager to know about transcendental subject matters. Endeavoring persistently for the satisfaction of Krishna, one becomes detached from wife, children, and home. He is not interested in wasting time. In this way, one becomes self realized. A person advanced in spiritual knowledge does not engage anyone anyone in material activity, engage anyone in material activity. And one who cannot deliver another person by instructing him in devotional service should not become a spiritual master, father, mother, demigod, or husband.
So Prabhupada writes this. Basically, is giving general information about how we should elevate our consciousness, how we connect whole family also. We think. Okay. Yeah. So next few lines.
Naveen Prabhu, you can do it too.
Prabhupada ki jai. Instructing his 100 sons, Lord Raspadeva advised him to accept their eldest brother, Bharata, as their guide and Lord, and thereby serve him. Of all living entities, the Brahmanas are the best, and above the Brahmanas, the Vaishnavas are situated in an even better position. Serving a Vaishnava means serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, Sukadeva Goswami describes the characteristics of Bharata Maharaja and the sacrificial performance executed by Lord Raspadeva for the instruction of the general population.
So this is basically Rishabhadeva instructing his 100 sons, and the 100 sons' elder brother is Bharata, guided and he's telling again Brahmanas, Vaishnavas, how important Vaishnavas are. Serving the Supreme Lord, serving Vaishnava, that when you see the devotees come, we serve. That is very, very essential to serve. We serve Krishna through the devotees of Krishna. Okay? And we serve Krishna through the spiritual master. So we serve Krishna with the senior Vaishnavas. That's why this is very important. At the end, the Sukadeva Goswami describes characters of Bharat Maharaj, the sacrificial performance executed by Lord Prabhudeva for the instruction of general. So they do a lot of yajnas, and Bharat Maharaj started following, and he tells his 100 sons to follow elder brother Bharat. So this is instruction from the Lord Rishabhadev for the 100 sons that this material happiness is temporary, is only available for the hogs and dogs. Okay, and we have to self-evaluate ourselves. I am a hog or dog or a devotee. It's self-evaluation process here. Okay, so that's how it is. Devotional service to Krishna, how this has to be performed. So the example given in the 5th chapter. So I'll stop here. Anybody would like to? Hare Krishna, Aman Prabhuji. Thank you for joining.
Prabhuji, here Bharata is the same Bharat Maharaj that 86.
So looks like, yeah, I don't know the details, but looks like that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah. So here, Rishabhadeva, most important is Rishabhadeva instruction is very important. A lot of parents, they say, go and make this money. I mean, nothing wrong in that based on time, place, circumstances, but how it is performed. Who is with you, Aman Prabhuji?
One of my friends.
Achha. Thank you.
You're breaking up. Don't.
Prabhuji, I have a question. Should I ask now or later?
Ask Bimal Prabhuji.
No. Ask Prabhu. Ask Prabhu. Prabhu, ask question. Aman Prabhu, go ahead.
Yes, thanks, Prabhu. As per Gita, probably I might be wrong. As per Gita, what I heard means we should give preferences to 16 round chant, and for that, if required, we can always swap the job. But in practical life, it's not possible. Changing job is not so easy, and work pressure is also not a possible thing. Control this. I mean, a devotee can control this.
Did anybody get the full question?
No, I cannot follow. Prabhu, your voice is also not so clear.
Now it's clear?
Little bit clear. Yeah, go ahead now. Try one more time.
Okay, so what I said means, what I heard means 16 rounds of chanting should prevail. For this, in case it is in case if it is required, we can change the job. But my question is, changing job or ignoring work pressure, it's not so easy. So once being in social life means, if you will be losing the job because of chanting, how come we can how come we can cope up with this thing?
Yeah. I think it's a very good question. Very good question, Prabhuji. Yeah, I like that question. So yeah, now I understand. So basically, its question is that 16 rounds, if you're not able to perform 16 rounds, change your job. But in this economy, in these situations, that's not easy and may not be possible for everyone to do that. Correct?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So what I would suggest is that, don't take everything in white and black. Practice for some time. Okay. And it's not that everybody would go and change their jobs or anything. First of all, evaluate your situation. What is your financial situation? Okay. And start with 4 rounds, 6 rounds, and 8 rounds you can do maximum. That's okay. You can do for some time. See, time, again, what I'm trying to say is that situations are not going to be like this forever. Right? So yeah, if you have a job and if you cannot able to get job which will give 16 rounds, stick to the job. Don't try to apathetically change it. Okay. And when you become serious in Krishna consciousness, and Krishna will give intelligence, Krishna will provide opportunities. You have strong desire to serve him. Okay. It's not that without any realizations you go and change job, this, that may not be good also. And especially in this in this economy, getting job is not an easy task now, right? So what I would suggest is that start slowly, initially 1 round, 2 round, 4 rounds, 6 rounds, 8 rounds, and see how do you manage that. And also, it is not highly impossible if you do 8 to 5 job, 16 rounds, not a problem. Okay. We have to try to manage our time. That's the first thing I gave. Don't change apathetically. Try to manage our time efficiently. Okay. Other thing is that we do, for example, I've seen a lot of people do 8 to 5 job. They watch 2 hours television every day, 2 to 3 hours. They sit in front of television and they watch it. Completely avoid those things. So which are like material activities, and other thing is like gossiping on the telephone. You spend 1 hour on the cell phone talking to people. So try to minimize other material activities as much as you can. Then see how much time you can say, how much you can chant. Evaluate slowly on that situation. Okay. And this actually Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they do 32 rounds. 16 rounds for doing full-time job for Gruhastha, not a problem. Not a problem. Again, because if you are a CEO of the company, even Radhanath Swami disciples, some of them are CEOs of the companies. They took initiation, they are doing 16 rounds. Okay. It's not difficult, but it's how you implement is a problem. So time management has to be performed very efficiently. It's not highly impossible. So time management has to be performed. Especially in ISKCON, we have 95% Gruhasthas. All of them are initiated. Everybody is doing jobs, managing their families, doing 16 rounds. So it's all time management. But if you have some other really tough job that we have to there for 16 hours, that's a different story. But normal job, if you're doing one job, assuming doing one job 8 to 5 or 8 to 7, and you have family, and these things, and those 16 rounds is not so difficult, because I'm telling with experience, raising 2 kids, and we became Krishna where kids were very small, like for 3 years, 4 years. Kids became God conscious by God's grace. So again, I'm saying on the best example, it's possible. It's not impossible. So it's all time management. Also, what happens is that when you are in Krishna consciousness, right? Krishna also helps us when you have a desire. It's not just our effort, our endeavorment. Mercy also comes from Krishna, a strong desire to serve Krishna. What happens? I'll give small examples. If we have something to be done, if you go to some work, even you go 10 times, that work is not done. But when you are doing chanting, first time you go, that work is done, you don't have to waste more time. So these small realizations would come in your life as you practice Krishna consciousness. It's each individual, everybody is a devotee, and you get these experiences slowly. And 90% of the time, Aman Prabhuji, it's not something not doable. After seeing our lives in America, only Prabhupada made from 32 rounds to 16 rounds. So it hardly takes about 1 hour 30 to 1 hour 45 minutes for 16 rounds. So it's some time management basically. And if you're not able to do it, do whatever you're doing, say 8 rounds for a long time. Later that, you have desire, Krishna will give the intelligence to how to perform those things. But don't try to give up job artificially. Okay, because we have to, first of all, job and money is very important in this country. And take that advice from devotees, hey, I'm having this, how should I adjust these things, those things. So those would help us. So that's all I can say with experience.
Thank you.
Anybody has better answers, like, our Bimal Prabhu, Ravi Prabhu?
No, Prabhu. Whatever you're saying exactly correct. He should do time management. Correct.
Yeah, right.
Time management is very, very important.
Important. When we watch 2 hours TV, we don't complain.
Correct.
Then when we start chanting, Abhay, आधा घंटा हो गया.
Aadha
So that is our nature. So we have to change our nature.
Correct.
Yeah. When we do devotionals, we count time. When you do watch TV, don't count time.
Gossip, you don't count time.
Yeah, exactly. Again, I'm not saying everybody does that, but we need to do the time management. And for us, my job and my chanting, that's it. You can do it.
Correct.
Yeah. It'll reduce all other avocations in life. Like that. Yeah.
Nirmal Das Prabhu, any reflections you want to give? You always give, right?
All I can say is, Prabhuji, thank you, Prabhuji. With all the mercies of and all the blessings of all of our Vaishnavas, all I can say is, like, even if those questions arises, we pause and we reflect from our learnings from Bhagavad Gita, we get the answers within that itself. And then we realize the thoughts are material, or if it's the spiritual. So that's a guidance and blessings from all our Vaishnavas.
Prabhupada had about, I think, 4 or 5 kids. He chanted throughout his life. So, and Prabhupada is ideal example for all of us as well. Family life, how it should be balanced, etc. Okay. I think we passed beyond time, so we'll stop. I'm sorry, anybody has any questions?
I think so. Nobody has questions, Prabhu.
Okay, sorry, we forced Ravi Prabhu to join this class.
No, he is elevated, so Prabhu. He should join if he does.
Because of that video, whatever.
Yeah.
We wanted to sleep for some time, we disturbed his sleep.
No, next time I will take care of it.
No, Prabhuji. I'm here actually listening to the class, Prabhuji.
Are you?
Yes, Prabhuji, but I have to do the household work also at the same time. So
I completely understand. I don't blame you. Definitely. That's a top priority. If wife is happy, life is happy, okay? That's it.
Yes, Prabhuji.
That's a formula.
Whoever came up with that term, seriously.
Okay, dear devotees, we'll see you next week. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Govardhan Prabhuji. Thank you.
Govardhan Prabhuji. All the devotees.
Prabhupada.
Jai.